You're listening to Moviesucktastic.
Sounds like some bad movie.
And hello, everyone. Welcome, Scott.
Hello.
How you doing? Hey.
Hey.
How's it going?
Is it Oscar time yet?
Not yet.
Oh. Soon.
Soon. When will then be now?
Then.
Soon.
Then it will. Then, because then that'll be now.
Yeah,
Moviesucktastic number 165.
That's right. You got that one right. Look at that.
Our penultimate Oscar episode. So, this episode, number 165, our penultimate Oscar episode, we were reviewing. We decided on Selma first.
Selma first.
This episode, next episode, we're reviewing the last two Oscar films, Selma and The Imitation Game, because we're recording them in the same evening, and we tried to pair them up based on theme, and we did a good job with this one too. Selma and The Imitation Game both have themes of oppressed.
Yeah, sure. Total oppression, absolutely.
Oppression of minorities, government even crackdown on minorities. There's another word for it I'm looking for, but.
Oh yeah,
I'm already into my gin, so I can't think of the word.
That's okay.
But let's dive into Selma. No, Selma is not the name of Martin Luther King's wife. It is the name of a town
in Alabama. Alabama.
Now Selma, the movie.
Yeah.
Not good for Alabama.
No.
Now,
well, neither was Mississippi Burning for Mississippi.
No,
none of these movies are good for the where they take place. Any southern state always looks bad in this era.
And you know what? Deservedly so.
Of course.
Now, I want to start off by saying I didn't want to see Selma just because I wasn't interested. I'm not big on historical films to begin with. I like films that are a bit more entertaining, or at least on a subject matter I have more interest in. I am for the civil rights movement. As I'm pretty sure you are too, as far as I know. But it's not something I want to spend 2 hours watching a film about, especially when I already know the history behind it to an extent and have no need to delve in more. And also, it's not a historical document, it's a fucking movie.
Right. And the fact that, not specifically this movie, but there's 20 other movies that are pretty much exactly like this.
You know, it's like Holocaust films. I get it. I know.
It was a bad fucking time, but they
sucked big time. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
But I just don't want to watch a 2-hour film about it. I don't need any more convincing at how bad it was. And despite the mantra of lest we forget, I'm not gonna forget. I got a good memory for that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Had this movie come out next year or the following year, it might have won Best Picture. But since 12 Years a Slave came out last year, here's the difference between those two movies. 12 Years a Slave, infinitely a better film.
Yes. Thank you. I didn't know where you were going to go with that, but yes, a better movie. Better written.
Yeah.
Better. Now, Selma's not a bad movie.
No.
But,
and it's not even really a bad acted film either. But 12 Years a Slave is just on another level as far as every performance, screenwriting, even cinematography. It just through the roof. Wins Best Picture last year, deservedly so.
No comparison. No comparison.
This film, you know what? It could have been a TV movie.
Okay.
It could have been.
The film lost me at the beginning.
I know where you're going, so
yeah,
bring it home, baby.
I already gave you a tease about this.
You did.
It won me in the second half, or like halfway through, because there's other things going on in the film I liked. We'll talk about, but the beginning lost me because the first opening scene is Martin Luther King getting dressed for receiving the Nobel or becoming a Nobel laureate.
Nobel Peace Prize.
Yeah, Nobel Peace Prize. There's this dialogue between him and his wife where she's like, "Oh, after this, you can get a job doing, you can get a preaching job, and we can
buy a house.
Buy a house." And like, okay, you know what? I get it. They're sacrificing a normal life to do this. I get it. It's such a ham-fisted fucking. It's like, it's just too blatant for me, and it's right up there in front, and I don't like it. After the whole Nobel thing, all of a sudden we end up in a stairwell with a group of small black children walking down the stairs dressed in their Sunday best, talking about hairstyles. And I'm like, why have we suddenly switched to a stairwell with children that have nothing to do with the story, talking about something that really has no interest for anybody? I wonder. Right. And this keeps going on for a good solid minute. I'm like, I wonder what, I think something bad might be about to happen. Yeah.
And the surefire signal that it's going to is when there's just one kid on the stairwell
Camera
talking
stops.
to the other three that are now. she's the only one in the frame.
No,
and it's like,
but even worse,
something bad's gonna happen.
They're talking about hairstyles, and she says, "Yeah, there's like three things wrong with this. One, the camera stops. Two,
right.
The friends keep walking, but she stops on the stairs, and she's not. It's like she's not even talking to them. It's like, okay, why is she stopping to talk to people that are now like in the doorway? She's just standing there talking to herself now. Why would she stop here? Why would she stop dead center frame on the stairwell for no reason whatsoever? And surprise, surprise, there's an explosion. But up to the explosion stops her mid-dialogue, but it stops her mid-dialogue when she's saying, I know how you do it. You part the hair in the middle, and you can hear ... before the explosion stops her. It's such an unnatural... It's like the explosion waited for a good time to interrupt the girl.
The explosion's like, I don't give a shit about hair.
Well, it's like, but wait until she says "and," get a proper pause, then come in.
That's right.
The writing on that point, direction, fucking sucks. Then, this is the beautiful part. We then get to see a half minute, maybe 45, couldn't have been a minute. It felt longer, of just kind of a close up of like of little body parts spinning through the air with debris.
Yeah, no, they definitely had some airtime with that shot. And
it's so slow motion, and it's just the limbs. I thought it was just going to turn into a James Bond film.
I swear I thought they were going to do one of those weird 360, where it's like it shows the body part, and then the camera rotates 360 degrees. One of those, you know what I'm talking about? One of those weird... Yeah, I thought it was going to go that far.
But with the limbs up close and like the way they were sliding, I'm just waiting for dun dun dun, and then the silhouette of James Bond. Da, 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 da. It was just fucking horrible. And then it cuts to a shot of the one girl in her dress, which is not burnt or ripped or anything, and she's like laying on top of the rubble, like the building collapsed underneath her.
Right. Yeah, that was bad too. And of course, what the director is just trying to show in that scene is all of the debris, the extent of the damage. Obviously, a child has died, or four of them actually, but you only see the one. But you're right. It's not like the building crumbled, beneath her, and then she fell out. No, that's not how that would have happened.
It's like, look, dead children. It's like, you know what? I get it. I know they could have just mentioned dead children, and I'd have been like, okay. And it's done so poorly that it's not like the scene in The Untouchables. Mister, you forgot your briefcase. That's when we're like, oh shit. It's like you kind of know something happening, but the camera moves, it keeps moving, and it hits you. So much better, so much more well done than this shot. So like automatically, like I'm not 10 minutes into this film, and I hate it. I hate it because, like you said, it's like a made for TV movie quality writing and delivery. That's not the word I was looking for. So
I think one of the biggest reasons why it's gotten so much attention, other than the fact of what the story is about, Martin Luther King and civil rights movement,
well,
getting rights for black people to vote. Oprah Winfrey is in the film, and like her fucking book club,
don't even get me started on that.
She knows how to push, a product, big time, because she's not in this film a lot. She's in this film a small portion, but God knows, everybody knows she's in the movie, and everybody knows that she's pushing it. And
I heard people like, oh, how come she wasn't nominated for an Oscar? Please, how hard is it to act like you're a tired older woman when you're a tired older woman? Shut up. Now, I mean, the movie is very relevant for this time period because we have a number of states since the Republicans decided to lift control over these. No, it was the actual Supreme Court, I think. I'm a little foggy right now, but they lifted these restrictions on voting rights because they said, well, you know what, that was a different era, and there's not that kind of racism anymore. And the minute they lifted them, all these states started fucking passing laws restricting black voters. You're seeing the same kind of shit on a much different level, mind you, happening
Right.
now in a lot of states. And at the same time, we've got the whole thing with a lot of this film is about the police beating, assaulting, killing black people because of the rights movement, and we've got a lot of that happening now on a different level.
I was just going to say, watching this film, when you watch this movie and you see all those scenes with the police brutality and the enforcement and even them killing people, innocent people, you get the sense, and maybe it's the way it was directed, but you get the sense when you watch it. It's like, wow, nothing really has changed with that.
It
Not
has.
a lot. Not a lot.
A lot.
No,
a lot, because
I mean, that's not what I meant. I meant a lot has changed, but it feels like some things, not a lot, but some things still haven't changed.
because there's still bad people in the world. Yeah,
Well, of course.
Right. Now, it's hard. And again, the first half of the film, there's some resistance on my part because if you're a white person, this is a hard film to get through the first half because every single white person you see does all you ever see is them scowling and shaking their head at the nearby Negroes.
Right.
Just as like the casting call was, can you look like a douche? And you're white, show up. So
Did you get the feeling like I did that during the making of this film that not that there was trouble on set, but it's like, yeah, but it's in the script. I don't give a fuck if it's in but it's in the script. I'm just doing my job. I don't give a fuck. It's like, but I got that feeling like through the whole making of this movie. It's just like there's this tension on set, and there shouldn't be. I mean, they're professional actors, and of course, I'm not even guessing. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
you get that feeling.
Yeah.
But I'm sure it wasn't like that.
So even I, after the first, going into the first hour, I'm just like, yeah, can we see a white person that's not like nasty and hates black people and like can't even and literally every scene in the first hour of the film, if there's a white person in the room and a black person walks through it, they turn and look at him and just go, yeah, it's that bad. And I'm thinking like, oh, come on, really, every single white person? But then again, to be fair, it is Alabama.
Yeah.
And then the second half of the film, after they have the first march and all the police brutality is televised, they document, they have like all the white people that came into town to march with them in support because they actually saw it, and then you start feeling better about yourself. Oh, okay, there are good white people in the world. I'm not okay. It's like now I can feel better about the film. It is a hard. It's like 12 Years a Slave too. It's hard to watch as it is, but watching as a white person, you're like, oh, really? Yeah,
it smarts a little bit.
Yeah. And there was also some controversy too because Johnson is portrayed to be more against the civil rights, more against passing the civil rights bill.
Yeah, he's more interested in his own issues and problems than to deal with that.
Yeah.
he kind of tells Martin Luther King that I'll get to it, but I can't do it this year. Maybe I'll do it next year. Maybe in 2. Maybe kind of try and tie it in with with the election for re-election, and it's just. Nah, you kind of get that feeling. It's like, yeah, he's kind of a douche.
Well, no,
but
I mean, historians kind of argued like, yeah, he wasn't that against it. You're kind of overplaying that. And the director kind of came out and said, well, you have to debate history, blah 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 blah. And my only argument with that argument is, yeah, I mean, personally, we had discussion before. If it's a film about historical events, it's still a film. It's still fiction because you're going to change stuff. So I understand you're doing that, but as the director, if you're going to come out and defend it by saying, well, it's not actual, this is us reinterpreting history, blah, blah, blah. If you're going to do that, don't show actual news footage at the end of your fucking film. Right. No.
And not only that,
no.
If you're going to do that as well, don't protest so much about how it should win Best Picture as well. If you want it to be based on a true story and it's 100% factual,
I don't think
then that's different.
I think that's two separate things. I think you can win a Best Picture. It's about the craft of the film. It doesn't matter if it's true to life or not.
No, but this is based on a real events.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean again.
No, don't get me wrong. I understand.
We're
going to
see that with the Imitation Game as well.
Of course.
To a different degree or to the same degree. But what I'm getting at is historians and stuff. They're like, it's bullshit, and it did lend a bit more to the white paranoia of, this is a film that says all white people are evil. Well, again, Alabama.
White gold.
By the way, no black cast members in this film were nominated.
What?
No, it's true.
Even the lead, I don't even remember his name, but the guy that played Martin Luther King, he was pretty good. But I don't know. I didn't feel at any point that it was a Best Actor nomination. Listen, my whole take on it, and isn't it true that most of the people that were complaining about no black people were nominated were mostly white people?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know many black people personally, so I can't make that judgment.
But the way I feel, this is just my take on it. A lot of people feel that, at least I do, if your performance is above and beyond, if your film is above and beyond, it deserves a nomination, and that's where it ends. Whether you're black or you're white or whatever, if you delivered the best performance, you're nominated. So to push for a nomination just because, I think that's silly.
Well, yeah, obviously, and now, ironically, that gets to the whole idea of the politics of Hollywood and the politics of the Oscars. But with trailing off of that, segue. What I liked most about this film, not the whole civil rights aspect, even though I'm pro civil rights, but the film really is about the strategy on Martin Luther King. Johnson's, McGovern's.
They pick Selma, everything.
Yeah, I mean, everything is. It's all about you have people with the same goal. Johnson, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King. They all have the same goal, but they all have different ideas on how to get there, and what is worth doing and what's going to work, and everybody's. There's a lot of strategizing in the film. And I find that the most interesting because you have people there are a lot of scenes where you have people in a room at odds over the same goal trying to get there because they question each other's methods and they question what's the right way and wrong way to do it. That for me was the most telling part of the film. That's the part that I became most interested in because it wasn't just we have to we are oppressed, and again, not saying it's not true. We are oppressed. These are the oppressors. That's an old story. That's an old story, and we know it. Historical standpoint, yes, bad, but boring. But the clash of idealism and similar idealisms, but clashing on the process in which to obtain the same goal. That's and Martin Luther King struggling against Johnson, no matter how factual that is or not. And then my favorite scene is what's the actor's name? I got to look it up while we're talking. When
is it Cuba Gooding Jr.?
No, not Cuba Gooding Jr. I'm praising a white man.
You're talking about Giovanni Ribisi?
No, he was the one person I wish they hadn't put in the film because I can't see him as a straight person anymore. He's played too many. He's played too many unusual characters for me to see him as a real person. He has to be
process of elimination. It's the J. Edgar Hoover scene.
Dylan Baker, yes.
Yeah.
The kid toucher from Happiness.
Yes.
He was. I just love the scene where he's sitting there across from Johnson, like, you know, we have ways of dispensing of people permanently. Johnson's like, yeah, I know.
It's like, you are aware
that
we can do that.
So what do you want me to do?
And Johnson's like, I am aware that we have that ability. And then he's like, well, then how about we just fuck up his marriage?
I did not like the film's...
Can I just say, real quick, just to interject?
No.
The whole time I'm thinking that, it's because it's the dude from Happiness, and they get him to play a J. Edgar, and I'm like, that guy's going home and wearing women's underwear and lady shoes.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Of course not. But that's all I was thinking in the scene. I'm like, that's... Okay. Anyway, go ahead.
No, I was going to say was... and now, I forgot now. What was I saying? You stole it. You robbed it right from me. Oh, I did not like how they underlined the fact that the FBI had them under constant surveillance by every now and then just typing on the screen, Martin Luther King arrives at location, blah, 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 logged. It's like, you know what? Fuck you. That's lazy. That's lazy for me. It's like, I don't know. I mean, it's true. I mean, the FBI was trying to sabotage things. They were definitely under constant surveillance. That is all true. Much better ways to do it. I thought that was lazy screenwriting.
Well, no, you know what it is. You throw up a few words, even if you have it typed on the screen, it seems smarter than it is.
But you know what it is? It didn't really have anything to do with the story. Like, it doesn't have any major effect on the plot. They just wanted to get it in there. So it's like, oh, let's just do this. That way they'll know. But it really doesn't have any effect on the storyline. It doesn't. Right. It really doesn't. Right. It has no major effect on the plot. It has no purpose except to just keep reminding you, oh, and they were being harassed by FBI. Yeah, okay. You know what? There are better ways to do that. You know what? Boyhood was 2 hours and 40 minutes long. Take an extra 10 minutes. Put this over the 2 hour mark. Give us a little bit of that backstory. But don't fucking just throw things on the screen. This isn't CNN.
No, you're right. It was lazy. And it felt it too.
I really, not a bad movie. I don't think it's a best. I don't think it deserved to be best Oscar. I just think it got a lot of. And I was reading things too where they said one thing. They blame the fact there were no. One of the reasons that there were no black actors or actresses nominated for this film was because the studio didn't put screeners out enough before the votes. It's like, yeah, that's how it got Best Picture nomination, because there wasn't enough advertising for it. Shut up.
There's only 8 Best Picture nominations out of a potential 10. So don't tell me. There's 2 other movies that got less votes than this. Actually, as a matter of fact, that would make it. That would mean that this film was the 8th and final vote. This film could have had like the 3rd most votes for all we know. So it just enough. You're right. Just stop it.
You know what? Where it actually occurs, it's like when Spike Lee came out because he wasn't nominated for Best Picture and called the Academy Awards the Apartheid Awards.
Whoa.
What? But basically, to wrap up, Selma, not a bad film, not Oscar worthy.
No, definitely not. Now, what is its rating on? See, I can't check because that's what happened.
Yeah, don't.
I opened up a fucking web page. And my computer crashed.
Selma is currently at 7.7. Apparently, the Klan has been hard at work making sure this doesn't get a 10.
I don't think 7. I think 7.7 is too high.
Currently, I wouldn't say that.
I wouldn't go above 7.
It's currently it has 19,000 votes and change. 7, 8. What do you want?
7. I'm 7.
I'm not gonna argue. 7 it is.
Yeah.
And then looking at the votes. 8's the most popular. demographics aren't too skewed. Highest demographic is 8.3 with females under 18. Lowest is 7.2 with males aged 45 and older, aka angry white men. So that's
this is one of those films. Last week you mentioned it with Whiplash, that it's in the top 250. It's in the top 100. But you mentioned that it feels like it's too high in the list. It's so young that down the line it's going to get a lower score. It might not dip below 8, but it will. This is the same type of thing. This movie will, it's at 7.7. It's not going to get higher. If anything, it'll get lower. Once time passes, people will realize that it is not a Best Picture type film. It is a good movie, but it is not a great movie. You'll probably see it hover somewhere in the 7.5 range. It's not going to go above 8. It never will. So, I mean, it might have been above 8 at one point in the very, very beginning of, its vote, but it's like what you mentioned with Whiplash. As it gets older, people will, they'll vote better for it. Right now, they're kind of voting with their heart, I think. So.
Well, yeah, it's what it is.
It chronicles an important time in our countries. With the civil rights movement, and it chronicles an important time for black people, deservedly so. I mean, they fought very hard to get, the rights to vote, all of that.
Harder than I had to.
Well, yeah. So
yeah.
I don't want to say it's an important film. There are movies that are better than this.
Oh, far better. On the same topic.
On the same topic, better than this film. Actually, give you even more information. Better acted, better
and
written,
more accurate information.
Well, yeah. And again, this isn't a bad film. It's just not a great film. So I expect the film to be great if it's nominated for Best Picture. And there isn't a lot. I would say every film nominated is at the very least good. There's only a handful, not even, just a small selection of great films. And namely, in my opinion, that's Whiplash, Birdman, Grand Budapest Hotel.
And then there's Boyhood.
Yeah, we did really hate that one.
Fucking passionately.
Yeah,
that's pretty much it for Selma. I mean, no way in hell did Oprah deserve an Oscar nomination for her brief portrayal of a tired old woman.
Right.
And next
it would have snubbed someone more deserving if they had.
Yeah, but we have a lot to do, including the next episode 166, which is on our final Oscar review, The Imitation Game, which is we're going to record next, and you'll catch it in a few days, or as soon as we post it. So let's wrap up this show and mosey on to the next.
Oh yeah, of course. I was actually thinking, we've been posting, even though we're recording the episodes in the same night, we're posting, like, this one will post tomorrow, the Imitation Game will post Monday, but we'll technically be doing episode 167, which is the Oscar show, on Sunday.
Right.
So it's like, so I guess I'll post both episodes on Monday, and I'll timestamp Imitation Game just a few minutes earlier. This
is technical stuff that nobody cares about but you and I.
I don't even think you care about it.
I kind of do, but not as much. But even I care more than the people listening right now.
Yeah, I'd say that's true.
Is the music rolling?
It sure is.
Well, then wrap it up.
All right, episode 165, Selma. You can go to our website at Moviesucktastic.com, download all of the shows there. You can listen to the shows there. You can also watch the show live right from there as well. You can go to iTunes and you can download the show and listen there as well. Leave a review while you're there. Always appreciated. You can leave us voicemail at 908-514-4470. 908-514-4470. Email us. The address, themovieguys@Moviesucktastic.com. Go to our Facebook at facebook.com/Moviesucktastic. Go to our Tumblr page at moviesucktastic.tumblr.com. You can also download the free app for your phone, for your tablet, for your phablet, whatever you want to call it.
What?
It's a phablet.
What the fuck's that?
It's a phone, but it's the size of a tablet, just about. It's like the one Holly has.
Oh.
They're calling those phablets. Now you can tell Holly. You can tell Holly she has a phablet. You can do that. It's totally free. Everything I just talked about is in one nice, tidy little package. Definitely go and get it. You can also do a search for us in your favorite search engine. Scott likes Google. Just
Google
do a
it.
search for Moviesucktastic. Everything I said is there. And that about does it. Any words of wisdom?
I have a dream.
Yeah, me too. For my computer to stop fucking crashing.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Live stream sucks.
Yeah,
See you
fucking
guys.
sucks, donkey dick.
See you guys shortly, and hopefully on Oscar night.
Oh yeah, definitely on Oscar night. We're gonna promote the shit out of that from here to Sunday.
Right. Well, because it's on Sunday, so that's our deadline.
Well, no. Well, the thing is, people have short attention spans. So if we do it tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday.
I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention.
Exactly. All right, everybody. We'll talk to you next week.
Huh?